he has a more military-graded coat, and around him flies a small object that constantly releases a colorful gas that has some kind of smell. When he enters, it's visible that his sight might have some issues because it's normal for a human to look at other humans, at their heads. We look for those features, and he is not. He's just looking around. Even if he's looking at somebody's face, that person has a feeling he's looking somewhere else or behind him. And when he finds the good-looking chair, he pulls it in front of that person that is already in the room, and then he lays on the ground with his legs on the chair, looking at the person.
Awesome. Adam. Alright. Tin Ulti.
As Tin enters into the room, definitely not well dressed compared to quite a few other individuals here. The dress uniform appears to be almost handcrafted, hand sewn, perhaps. Some sort of ultra non-reflective material, almost sort of venti black, if you've ever seen that kind of stuff. And then some sort of armored bodysuit. You can see sort of patchworks of dark, maybe plasteel parts, or maybe even bits of reworked ceramite onto the shoulder pads, and covering a sort of neck guard, but keeping his head free. Upon his head, a set of issued Presence goggles. It appears that someone has decided to provide at least a little bit more to his kit than what he originally had. And as well, on his shoulder, looking a little more uncomfortable, not due to lack of understanding, it is at least safe on the strap on his shoulder. There it appears to be a Imperial Standard issue flamer. Apart from that, the rest of the things that are on him almost look like a sort of long-standing hiker, a large backpack with, you can see the bits of a tent sticking out on the sides of it, a mess tin, pots and pans that are kind of strapped to the side, a water canteen on his head flask, as well as a pistol on the other side. He kind of enters the room, not entirely sure what to do. Definitely gives people a bit of a wide berth as he initially goes in, and you can see his goggles are up right now. He's not using them, but you can see his eyes are kind of darting left, right, and center. You get the feeling that this person is very on edge, and this is very much not his element, wherever he is right now.
Adam.
Entering the room next, it would be Adam, wearing what seems to be a quite formidable set of armor, military issue most likely, due to the blood patterns and damage it may show on the surface. Is most likely not. It was most likely not issued to him, but maybe a trophy. Using the chameleon cloak, she does desperately wrap it around his body, hoping he would just fade into the background, as he seems either shy or secretive by nature. Nothing but a backpack and a bolter on his back. However, a plethora of tools on his utility belt and other such instruments betray him as most likely a non-combat role. He has cut sides on his hair with a slight mohawk, as well as a visor which seems to shield his eyes from bursts of bright light. Other than that, he does his best as to not encumber anyone with his presence.
Commissar Reichardt, willing to last. Baron.
So, Commissar will open the door. When I say open it, he will throw back the door, stride into the center of the room. What you'll actually see is a gentleman has a straight back. He is wearing, well, you could say what he called formal-ish clothing. But underneath, you can actually see that what he called there is some sort of armor. He has a tanned face. Once again, he turns around. You'll actually see his piercing blue eyes look at each and every one of you, stopping the other commissar, looking him up and down, and then moving on. Say, so, this is it, gentlemen.
Gentlemen. They don't seem gentle to me.
Colloquialism. Put you at ease.
Now I want all of you to do a stealth test.
Any bonuses or negatives, Jim?
I will always let you know if there's.
No worries.
Otherwise, just roll. You can use a fate point to reroll.
Raspana's not really trying to hide, so...
God, I have so...
Rosmanas?
That's success with 1.
Perfect. Rosmanas, can you do an awareness test for me?
Of course.
Excellent. Raz, as you enter the door, you look around. You are prescient to the fact that someone followed you. You don't know who, you don't know why, but at some point, as your backpack was sort of slamming into the wall and the smoke billowed behind you, you looked over your shoulder and through the light you can see a silhouette. You know that you've been followed.
So that person who followed me was outside the door. I lost him entering this room.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna do a little intro switch that I usually do. It's just for new players. If you're experienced, then yeah, it's good to know anyway. So you play as acolytes. You're a disposable and fanatical asset to your Inquisitor. Keep in mind, every action you take affects the world. You have a subtlety score that is reduced or increased by your actions. As we play, I will roll for enemy factions and characters against their subtlety score. You can use the Inquisitor's influence to call in reinforcements or favors, and you can order other factions of the Inquisition and Imperium to do your bidding. But doing so runs the risk of revealing your identity to the bad guys. I love exposition, role-playing, any kind of in-character role-playing. 95% of the session should consist of that. We don't like rules, discussions, any out of character. We can keep that at the absolute minimum. I love anything you want to fill in about your backstory. If you want to go on a long speech about your history, the entire session can be filled with that. But questions, if there's a cup on the table, if there's a person there, just make it up. Think of it like cooperative storytelling. If you want there to be a little detail, was it important whether the person was this or that? It's not important. You could fill it in. Stay focused. If you don't know what's happening when it's your turn, you'll waste a lot of time. You're the focus of the campaign, not the story, but your characters. So there is no right or wrong way to play. You can walk around, look for clues, you can kick in doors, you can slit someone's throat. You can set up a scouting mission, you can set up a safe base, build a fucking vehicle with a turret and go and blast open doors. You can take someone hostage, interrogate them. You can search up Stratum records for information. Or you can just go fucking guns blazing and kill everyone. Every encounter is improvised. There's no planned circumstances, no planned path for anything that happens. I just make locations and then we tell a story together. So you as players have to move the story forward. Certain combat encounters are going to be impossible. The only option is to run away. Remember that you can call on reinforcements. So, we're in a role-playing scene. I've described the room, and you guys are free to do what you want. You're in this room now. Time is ticking. You know that you're waiting for inquisitorial contact. So I'm leaving it up to you.
So Raspans will stand up. He will undust himself from the dust from the ground, and he will say, "Greetings. There is an interest in our coming here. I think I've been followed. As I can see, all of you are well fitted to take care of that. So I'm letting you know. You can call me Raspanas. At your service." And he bows, and he then walks toward one of the desks and sit behind it.
Tinulti. I'll be honest. I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing here. I was given the rundown of the people we'd be meeting, but wasn't given any details as to what we're doing here. I was just told by this bloke in an interrogation chamber that apparently I'd be useful. Does anyone here know what we're doing?
At that, Adam would shake penitently and say, "Oh man, I heard from my college that everything went to shit, dude. Fuck, and you've been followed? I don't know, dude. Does it smell of gas? I think I smell gas," as he fumbles around to grab his rebreather and he...
Gentlemen,
Oh my god. You get an inspiration point.
get a grip. What's the matter with yous? I will go out and see what is happening out there. If something happens, you will follow. Understand?
Someone with leading approach, I see.
That.
I mean, we're not in any danger here right now, are we? I mean,
Well, someone smells gasoline around, and I don't fight this idea at all.
may I please smell the air, see if I can smell this gasoline as well?
There is no
Already
gasoline.
left towards the door.
Alright. You get up. This commissar straightens his uniform. With a stiff walk, walks across the floor. It is an evenly tiled marble floor. There's a very dim light shining in from these artificial windows lit by lumen. The candle lights flicker on the table, and there is sort of this brown, dark furniture with old creaks and different places people could hide. And you all, paranoid as you are, look around the room. Occasionally sit in silence. There's not a sound. As the commissar gets up, his chair creaks. He walks to the door. It is an old wooden door with a brass handle. You firmly grasp it and open the door. Commissar, do a dodge test.
Success with 8.
This is with 8. Very nice. You can all hear a horrible thundering sound of gunfire coming into the room as Commissar Hale is hit. one time for 11 impact damage to penetration to the chest.
Is that onto 10?
Commissar? Duskin?
Hmm?
You take 11 pen 2.
Oh.
Did I say pen 4? You can all
even
see...
with a dodge of 8?
Yep. You can all see the... So 8 degrees of success?
8 degrees of success,
8 degrees of success. Okay, no, you don't. So you're gonna see the Commissar jump backwards. Like the smoke fills the room. A couple of panels and an urn behind you smashes and blasts open. The room is filled with smoke instantly. It looks like several assailants have attacked your Commissar. He jumps back on one knee, rolls to the side, and gets up quickly. Everyone roll for initiative.
By fire, gentlemen.
So Malcolm.
There's an initiative button in your character sheet next to agility. If you can't hear the sound effects, I advise you to have at least like 20%, 30% sound. So we're missing Commissar Duskin.
Yeah, I've pulled it, but
Also does you
nothing
click
is...
Click the little cog and change your display name to a new character.
No, right, okay. And click the display name?
Yeah, because it still says Duskin at the bottom of the screen.
Alright, okay.
Okay, so I'm going to roll for you, Duskin.
I'll just go last.
Alright. Just add you on this. Okay, someone add Duskin.
It's going really slowly. I don't... Up, really? On. Yep.
Awesome. Let me add your initiative. And there we go.
I
Did it pop up on the list?
Yeah, it did.
There's no name for some reason. Does anyone know why?
He needs to select. Has his token been selected?
Yeah, because otherwise it
There we
wouldn't
go.
work.
There we go. Oh, it disappeared.
Yeah, but there's no name next to it. Okay, it doesn't matter. We'll just go with it.
Yeah, well, sorry. Yeah.
Tinolti. You see him jump back into the room. There was a surprise round. It is your turn to go first.
Shit. Am I able to figure out what those were? Was that small caliber? Was that bolt rounds?
Small caliber, solid projectiles.
Shit, I don't know what's going on. Cover, hide. Need to make sure that I'm not open right now. I'm going to leap behind a nearby desk and attempt to push it over to make sure that the front is facing there. So I'm using the picture as reference. I'm going to take cover behind the thickest part on the left or right hand side, with the top of the table facing outwards towards the door. Perfect.
You jump over the table, push it forward. The candles smash on the floor. The flame goes out. A little smoke billows up, and you hide behind the desk, peeking your head out. Raz.
Russ will try to get a response from outer world. He will use his ability to look without his eyes. So I will try to cast it. Okay. And what happens is his warp senses escalate, and now he can see for 60 meters around with unnatural senses. So what he will try to do after that, because it was a half action, he will try to look for the enemies. He will try to look with this new sense of his.
Sick. So I imagine you're like leaning down, touching your face, almost like you're focusing, looking at the door. And there's a little glimmer from your eyes, maybe a little light, and then you see past the door. There's one person standing there in a very heavy armor, leaning back, standing on both feet with a solid stance. He has 2 hand cannons, is what it looks like to you, with scopes. He's leaning back, sort of into this cowboy position, guns on the hip, and he's just fired 3 rounds.
I communicate to the team that there is only one advertiser, but adversary, but in very heavy armor and with hand cannons. Do your doings, people.
Excellent. Adam.
Adam will, as soon as the first shots ring, Adam just jumps from his location as he begins to crawl to the in the direction of the door. He actually was attempting to flee, but now that he is notified that past the door there's an assailant, he panically grabs the bolt gun from his from the side of his backpack, tries to aim through the door at it. However, his arms are shaking and his breathing is rapid as he says, "Go away!" as he pulls the trigger.
This is your most creative character yet. I love it.
Bolters are probably the worst weapon to fire in fear.
Yeah.
It's like the most recoil.
Like a tiny room, but yeah, you get an inspiration point. You can't really see him from your angle, but you want to go out in the middle of the room.
Yeah, because he's panicked. He doesn't know how to act. Obviously, this is not his environment.
Yeah. Alrighty. Up into the middle of the room. He shoots.
Oh, fuck. Well, that's a shame. Just as expected, the bolt hits a wall. It's not even near the doorway.
Okay. And the commissar.
Okay, so Commissar on his head as what he called listened to what is actually going on. You know, his bolt pistol loaded, and at he believes short range, taken one shot in a skillful attack to the head. And hit with
So-
success of 7 additional.
He's gonna test his shield. Shield succeeds. So your bolt pistol goes off. Blam! Shot to the head. You see a purple sort of hue appearing in front of his face, slowly covering his body and feet. As he steps forward, you get the impression that this guy is not a normal soldier. He takes another step forward, and we're entering a new round. That was the warm-up round.
And with
Everyone gets 15 seconds to do their full turn now. Before it is your turn, roll.
sorry, and with that, what he called, I'm gonna move back into cover and ignite the power sword.
Got it. Before it is your turn, roll your attack and the damage, so you know exactly what you're gonna do. When your turn comes up, describe as vividly as possible the actions of your character. You get as much time as you want to describe it, but very little with the rolling. The person is going to step forward again, loading his looks like revolvers. He is stepping forward and again shooting at you, Commissar. That is a -30 to your dodge.
I think we have 2 commissars here.
Yeah, I always mean you.
Okay, right. Give me 2 seconds.
-30.
30. Success with 4 additional.
4 additional. That is going to dodge. Is it 1 or 2 hits?
Success with 4, that's 5 hits. Dodged.
He gets a penalty of 30.
Yeah, he rolled a 27.
Yeah. So dodge again if you would like.
Okay, give me 2 seconds.
Again,
I feel you're trying to kill my character off the bat.
I was just trying to play my NPC.
-30, yeah.
Always. Alright.
Success.
Okay. This guy is going to hit you in the 42. That will be the body. So he is going to hit you in the body again for 6 energy damage, 4 penetration. And then a auto pistol goes off from you don't know where, and you will get 9 back damage to your chest. It's like lightning in the room, just these constant flashes. It looks like there's just this thunder going on. Pieces of shrapnel and pieces of the door just blast off. You can see small pieces of wood and shrapnel fly into the room, dance across the floor, as the Commissar takes a couple of hits. Commissar, you take another 8 impact damage to the chest.
It's fine.
He is hit again and again, and you can see him sort of walking back as the shots hit his chest again and again, thudding into his armor. And Tin Ulti, you see him just walking backwards. This guy seems pretty tough. He's still standing.
Oh shit! That's beyond my pay grade. Distraction. I'm going to look towards Katul. No, sorry, Rapanzas is his name. And I'm going to point towards the windows, and just go. We need to make an exit right now. We need to make an exit. And I am going to quick draw my flamer, and I'm going to attempt to not try and hit the commissar. I want to try and get a bit of a heat wash to try and get this the shooter to kind of back away slightly. So I want to try and shoot around, kind of on the floor and around the wall near the door.
Got it. So this is a suppressive.
Yes.
Fire.
Yes.
And he failed his test. So you succeed.
Excellent.
What kind of gun are you using?
A flamer.
A flamer, okay.
Yeah. Yes.
You can't suppress with a flamer.
Oh, I can't suppress with the flamer. Oh, in that case, I'll use the auto pistol. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Auto pistol goes off, and you will see just more of the door. It's like a scene from the Matrix. Just fucking everything explodes. Panels off the wall, little lamps, oil lamps catch fire, and the door is just completely destroyed now. The person in the door, while he's walking forward with his 2 handguns, is going to immediately freeze as everything just explodes in front of him. He holds his head back down to the left, and his hand sort of instinctively goes up to his face as he recoils. Raspanas.
And Raspanas will concentrate for a moment, and then you will see a flickering light coming from him in direction of the enemy. He will be hit for 10 energy damage, penetration 4 in 18.
How many degrees of success did you have?
I had 1 success.
1 success. That is a hit.
Yeah.
Excellent. So you let go of the gun and...
Oh, I never had a gun in my hands. I just
Oh no, it was
created a lightning from my hands
Yes.
that connected with him, and right after that he will just do a spin and get very close to the wall, assuming that someone will blow up the windows. So he is trying to be away from the enemy and away from the windows.
Right, I didn't see that you rolled there, but that was your...
Oh, you
your
asked to
thing.
roll before.
Yeah, you're using a psychic power, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The smite.
I think, yeah, I believe you need to do a psychic focus test.
He did.
Yeah.
He says it did.
It's
Yeah.
above. It's
I
above the
didn't see it.
commissary Reacher
Yeah,
dot.
target 81, target 85.
That
Yeah, he rolled
was-
an 81 for it.
That's really well, I can say.
It's between Tavi's bolt gun shot and Commissar Riker's dodge attempt. It's
Oh,
small.
okay,
It's
okay.
yeah, it's small text. Yeah.
Alright.
Here is a
Cool.
screenshot.
The guy jumps back, holding his hand in front of his face. You will hear this as he blasts into the wall, not expecting this much of resistance this quickly. Adam.
Adam will turn towards the window, and he will, as he moves, he will shoot at the window, trying to break the glass as he unleashes the Emperor's fury upon the misbegotten window that there stand between him and escape. I don't know if you need me to roll damage or things. I'm just trying to create a window of opportunity.
Oh,
But yeah, can I poke my head
yeah.
out as well? Is there can we survive the drop?
damage?
Okay. Got it. It was a full auto with 2 hits.
Oh god, yes. The window will explode, and shrapnel just flies across the room. The entire window is destroyed. So you look through it, you see that it looks like the back of a theater stage. There's just this big floodlight that you have completely destroyed. What has been revealed is the maintenance tunnel behind this officio. There is just like metal girders and metal plates and a metal grit floor.
There's a maintenance tunnel! I say, I'm surprised.
Awesome. You get an inspiration point and Commissar.
So, Commissar Rekhoff stands up, puts down his, what do you call it, overcoat, leans back along the corridor and goes, and hits, what do you call it, with 7 degrees of success.
7 degrees success. So
Or
he's...
damage 14 pen 4, 13 pen 4.
So that's a
Old
righteous
shot
carry.
to the head.
Minus 70. He fails his dodge, he fails his shield. That's a hit. Perfect. The bolt gun goes off. Well, that was Tavi's roll. And that is your roll, 14 and 13. In the head.
Mm.
The person wearing little armor to the head, unfortunately for him, will walk backwards, cover his face as he is hit by something from your psyker. He is distracted. Leaning up against the wall, you just take your bolt pistol, lean it against his head, let go of the bursts, select fire, and you will see his head turn into confetti. You just paint it across the wall as an explosion rips his head clean off, and you see this limp body just fall lifeless to the ground. He is truly dead.
As the body hits the ground, he's gonna shout, "You cowards! Come back and fight for your emperor!"
There is no time. We are being invigilated. Gather what you can from that body and we need to disappear.
Agreed. We don't know who these people are or what the plan is. We need to make sure that we can plan for whatever comes next. We're on the back foot here.
Yes, that's why we'll run away through this corridor. And Raspanas will try to enter the corridor behind the...
With a
Strike.
shaking body, he'll take a couple of steps backwards.
Running away is my specialty. Let's first see what this guy has.
Quiet, vermin!
Oh, that's great.
Will
What
hold
See
hold
inside.
our ground on the
Yeah, I was going to ask what can Raspanas see inside the tunnel.
A
It's
wet
like-
tunnel.
Yeah,
Give
the
me 2 seconds.
behind the
Going-
window.
This fucking thing. You can see a wet tunnel going forever. Wires on the floor. The dim light illuminating in the ceiling.
So he stands in the wall, the hole in the wall, and says, "Okay, so what are we waiting for? Let's run from here."
Quickly searches the body for anything that would discern the identity of their assailant.
This person was
Not the face.
Obviously not a face,
No.
since that seems to be missing.
He has nothing identifying him. This person seems to have been an assassin.
Oh man! As he quickly sprints through the window, also tripping on the furbishment around the window and falling face first into some wet wires.
Excellent.
Tin will, looking towards the very clearly quite proud and noble commissar, he's going to walk up and look like he's about to put his hand on his shoulder, but he's like, I don't know if that's going to lead me to losing a hand or not. And he just goes, look, I don't know who you are, sir, and I respect that you want to stay and fight here, but none of us here are soldiers, and we don't know what's going on. We know that they're coming from that direction. They haven't come from over here. This is the best place for us to be able to fall back. We're not running. We need to just make sure that we know what's going on. And he's just going to say, stay here if you like, but we're going into the tunnels. And he's going to quickly jump through the shards of glass as quickly as he can, easily making sure that there's absolutely no tears on his body glove or his synth skin as he gets through.
Awesome. You get an inspiration point. Inspiration points is a house rule. You can only have one, even if I grant several. You can only have one. Once you spend it, you need to be granted it again to have an inspiration point. They can only be used to re-roll tests that don't deal damage. So they can re-roll
Gotcha.
dodges, skill tests, anything like that. Not attacks. Fate points you can use to re-roll attacks. You are in the tunnel. And
Right,
by the way,
just
you get inspiration points from good role playing. You look back and forth in the tunnel. There is a light at the end, but the commissar is still in the room. Duskin, would you like to stay in the room a little bit longer? You see the cowards running out the window. The man is dead. There is no sign of anyone else around.
This moment, you can actually see that Sora is conflicted. Sees his flock running as well, sheep do. He is their shepherd. So, should he go and collect them up and see them to safety, or should he hold his position? As the guardsmen should. And as time goes tick, tick, tick,
That's all I needed to know. Enough time has passed to where the Commissar, you will see a shadow coming across the corridor towards you. It looks like someone pretty huge, tall, and as you stand there a little longer and just look at them, you can see mechadendrons on their back. They're jogging through the hallway, crouch forward, and they have a cape. The cape is red. There's a little light coming from their eyes.
and this, what do you call it? Well, his power sword down, ignite it, and recycle his bolt gun.
You're all alone there in the room. The rest of your group have jumped out. And you're going to stand there amidst the chaos. Pool of blood, shards of metal and wood, and some broken lamps. Through the room, through the door, you will see a tech priest with a familiar face. He looks up, and you recognize Samakri Korban. Samakri is a tech priest that the players met on a Forge World in a previous mission, and he was a part of the Assembly High Council on the world. They managed to recruit him to their group. You will see a tech priest with a red flowing robe carrying a giant metal device with various buzzing lights on his back. He has 2 cones for eyes and a series of wires attached to a metal mask covering his mouth and neck. The red light from his eyes seemed to scan his surroundings, forming holographic grids that sort of slide back and forth over objects very briefly. As he walks through the door, he will give you a single nod and look to the window. Where are the others?
They withdrew.
He sort of grasps his neck. We must be quick. I lost the ability to control the volume on the voice modulator. He wheezes in pain.
You know where this sewer system goes?
As excruciatingly painful as it is, I will have to use my flesh voice. He is annoyed as he looks to the broken window. All of you can hear this, by the way. You would have, during your briefing or interrogations, you would have heard Samakri's voice or seen him before. You all know that he's an inquisitorial agent.
Tim.
So where is the ship? Where do we meet?
Something has gone wrong. Where are the others?
Shit. The others were attacked, fled, and I stayed behind to buy them time. The bright side, you came, but we are on a time limit.
He leans on the table, looks exhausted. He is going to conjure a data slate in his left hand. As he drops his sleeve, it just pops up, this blue light fills his face. Here. A blueprint. You need to reach the hangar. But first, your assignment. He will take a step forward and hand you the data slate.
Okay, so what What is this? It's encrypted.
Yes. You will have to ask one of your assistants. Or use your own brain.
As it looks annoyed at your head.
Assistance? I can offer. As from one corner of the blown out window can be seen Adam's face, but he's very scared of some actually, so as soon as he turns to look at him, he hides behind the window as if it's the bastion of the Emperor's palace, hoping that his daggered sight won't pierce him.
There he is. Are there more survivors?
Don't know, but frankly, I hope not.
Well, I think all of us survived.
Excellent. Cthulhu, you will finally creep out from the broken window. And Tin ulti as well.
Yeah, Tin with hearing that someone entered the room, probably because he was starting to run away, and then he heard not gunfire but conversation. He's like, oh, okay, something weird is happening. So Tin's not coming out of he's definitely just keeping his head over the broken window, so he's not coming back in the room.
Yeah. Beautiful. Samakra is going to look at all of you.
Great, so you all survived. Who made this mess?
He looks down on the floor.
Adam points at the Commissar immediately with a shaking head.
Tin points at the headless corpse on the ground.
Good. There are others behind me. If you are followed, they will take care of it. For now, we are safe. Now, your mission. Find out what happened to the tech priests. The House Maimon have taken them captive. They should be hiding here.
And he will point to a place on the data slate corresponding to the engine rooms of the ship. This giant station.
You know where we are right now, Tech Priest?
Indeed I do.
He will point onto the map, and you all have a perfect overview.
You are near the Navigator's chambers. This suit was used by one of our agents, but we will have to abandon it.
And what happened to the agent?
He gave his life for the cause,
Splendid.
as have many others. As you may know, your predecessors are dead.
Wait, but aren't you supposed to be with the best of the best?
As are you. But as we can see, you are hiding in a tunnel.
Hey, I'm doing the Emperor's duty in my way.
We shouldn't be judged by someone who joins us after the fight has ended.
Quiet. What happened at Duskin?
He gives an annoyed glance at
Does he live?
Raspanan will
Duskin
take
is diseased, as is Stefan. And the Shuriken. Our most elite cell has been eliminated.
Their bodies?
He will release one of his tubes from his mask, revealing his face, which is basically a skeleton with exposed teeth.
They are all dead.
Understood.
Raspanas will grab his sense-making device and will take a deep inhale of the smoke.
We know that the Navigators always one step ahead of us. They have predicted every movement we have made. We must hurry.
You can see his hands sort of tremble as he looks down and fibbles with the data slate.
Right. Hand it here, please.
He will still hold it, sort of scrolling through.
Find the tech priests. And when you are done, if you can, try to overhear the Navigators before they leave. You are our last remaining new agents. They do not yet know of your location. Only you can make it. We all rely on your success. Unfortunately.
He will hand you the data slate.
With a shaking hand, Adam grabs it. He fumbles with it and it almost loses the grip on it, but he manages to catch it mid-fall. And he tries to look as he totally pretended to do that all the time.
Find out what the Navigators are doing. Why are they capturing the tech priests? Try to intercept their meeting, but do not get discovered.
As you wish. He looks towards the commissar and will say, since time is of the essence, and if we want to maintain surprise, maybe we can add a bit of chaos to our current captors, if this base is currently theirs. Perhaps we should burn the evidence in this room and leave little for them to find. If they know that, at the very least, we are here, as they sent an assassin to deal with us, if they don't know whether we're alive or dead, that gives us a little bit of an advantage. I could set fire to this room with the flamer, and that would cause a little bit more chaos, and whilst we go through the maintenance tunnels, it means it might take them a little longer to figure out how we're moving through the facility.
So Macri will watch this eagerly. As he looks up from his cape again, you can see his red eyes start to glow.
Excellent. When you are done, meet us in the Inquisitorial Cruiser. And if you can, bring any of my omniscient brothers.
As you will.
He will bow and turn around. The last thing you see is his cape flowing behind him as he leaves the room. All of you now have a crude blueprint of your location and the various points he talked about.
And then he gave us the encrypted data, didn't he?
Yeah.
When I was working as a surveillance assistant, I did do a little bit of puzzles and mathematical problems to pass the time. It was something that the tech priest that I was with constantly quizzed me about. I might be able to figure out the encryption if you give it to me.
Oh, please do. Mayhaps I may provide some assistance. I am quite of a student of mathematics myself, although I'm not astute in such high-stress situations.
Your brains are splendid, Ait, but we should burn this place and do that in maybe some different location.
Pim will look towards the commissar to see whether he agrees with the plan.
I think that's yes.
Actually, it's a BRB. That's why he's not talking. That'll explain his sudden tact-turn behaviour. I guess he's just going to have to deal with it. Yeah. Well, we're going to have to get out of here before the flames get problematic for us.
Do the blueprints show any exit through this corridor that we
So
created?
keep in mind, the space station is ginormous. It houses tens of thousands of people. Impossible labyrinths. And no one on the ship truly knows every aspect of it. And you can go either out the window into the corridor or out where you came through the destroyed wooden door.
While they are thinking, Raspanos will come to this assassin and will look for any explosives or a force field source.
Yes, he had a force field on him.
Most probably. Is it something small like a pendant, or it's like a bigger system?
Something attached to his belt.
Oh, and I will try to grab it, and thus he has any explosives to blow him up.
As you take it, you realize that this heretical device is absolutely tainted, and you would not want to touch it.
Oh, then I will toss it away.
Yes.
All right.
It does have a few rounds of solid projectile ammunition.
Nothing to use as explosive, so I guess the flame has to deal with our problem.
It will help confuse the situation. The less evidence that they have of what went on here, the less they'll be able to work on when they start looking for us. Let's go.
Then let's move, and Raspanos will enter the corridor behind the window.
Excellent. You jump through the window
Yeah.
into the corridor.
And Tin will unleash however much flame of fuel you'll tell me it will take to try and ignite the room, because we're just trying to burn all evidence.
Perfect. You leave the opening. The last thing you hear is the crackling of furniture as the room is burning. There's an inferno inside. And you can hear explosion going off again and again. And the flame just billows out into the hallway as you run down the tunnel. There is absolutely no one here. You will just occasionally see a servitor, not programmed to react to your presence at all, walk sort of motionless or stiff through the hallways, occasionally turning towards the cogitator, maintaining it, and you seem to just walk on forever. You're going in the same direction, so the two locations you've been pointed to, both in the same direction, and that is the furnace, the engines, and the port, or the docking area. Would you like to do anything on your way there? So you're just walking through this long corridor now. Go on for it.
Raspanos would like to copy the blueprints to his data slate, just to have them there.
Excellent.
And then he will. I just want to ask, the meeting happens in the docks.
The
Because
meeting
he
happens near the docks.
Okay.
So on the way there, there's a navigator's chamber where all the navigators are planning to meet. By the way, there's a full briefing and notes on everything in the data slate. So if you have any questions about anything, just
Yeah, it's the date of the meeting.
the exact time is about a few hours from now. So you have enough time to briefly walk around, maybe get into one more engagement, but otherwise you will have to just overhear the meeting and then leave instantly. You do not have time to, for instance, be captured or drag a wounded person around or anything like that.
And then Raspanas will speak. If we will go to that chamber of the navigators, I can then scout it from afar.
Either way, we'll have to go to the Engineerium and see the thing about the step priests.
We have time. If we don't stir any more hornets' nests in here, we may be able to make our way through the maintenance tunnels and find our way into the Engineerium, perhaps find an exit for them if they're trapped in there. Then we can use these corridors.
Won't we alarm the navigators who will go to engine room? Well, what I'm maybe one question to Malt. Do I know if that chamber is somehow warp disconnected, like warp protected, that I will not be able to scout it with my powers?
Do a lore test for navigators, -40.
I don't have lore text for navigators, but Astra Telepathica, as they are from it.
No. That
Okay.
will not do.
Then I don't know
The
that.
practices and customs of the navigators are
Mhm.
foreign to you. So you only take a guess. You sort of picture in your head what the meeting would look like. A bunch of mutated, weird, genetic oddities and abhumans. You picture this sort of Star Wars cantina with these elephant snouts and weird big heads standing around in a room and talking. And you're like, yeah, that's probably what it's going to be like.
Mm.
You have no idea.
Well, I guess then it's a commissar call what we should do, if you have a different idea.
Whilst they are discussing that, can I take the encrypted data and see if I can break the code with my cryptographer skills?
So, whenever you want to do something, just say what you want to do, and I'll let you know if it's a test. There is a simple security device. You can do a security test at +20.
Okay.
Beautiful. Yeah, you just with a swift glance at it, you like click 2 buttons, and it's a little key code. It's extremely simple. You unlock it. There is a full list of mission briefings and a log even of your comrades. You're the first one to see this, but you can see quite a lot of information about them as well.
Dossiers on who we are. Well, that's useful. That saves on socializing with one another. Anyway, Commissar, what do you want us to do? I kind of stole your thunder earlier, but we figured that time was of the essence.
Nothing at all. Frankly, the way I see it is what's happened to the Mechanicus is a Mechanicus problem, not our problem. We're here to save the Askellon sector. If that requires the, shall we say, sacrifices of some, then that is what has to happen. What we can do is get in contact with the local ones. We have obviously completed our mission. Get in contact with the local Mechanicus world, inform them of what is happening, and let them deal with it. This is a Mechanicus problem, not an Imperial problem. Yes, can I help you?
But the request was made by a high-ranking acolyte. Is it wise? Probably he knows more than we do.
Perhaps my communications were out of whack, but what high-ranking acolyte?
He is the famous Martyri Corpo.
Yes,
May I be of
Mechanicus.
assistance?
No, acolyte of Caster Typh.
As you walk in eager discussion, you're too busy through this these wet hallways. There's this dripping water from the ceiling, and all of you occasionally just hold your hand like a visor in front of your eyes so that it doesn't drip into your face. Eventually, your helmet or hair will get wet. You're kicking at these wires that are sort of thrown across the floor, away as they're kind of annoying to try to bounce around. And as you're walking, you just bump into a servitor. He will like violently turn around, look at you, Rykert, and go,
May I be your assistance?
You will keep walking, ignoring him. He will eventually just shake his head a couple of times and continue walking.
Either way, what I'm saying is that should we go against the wishes of Somatri, it would be considered desertion. treason. As Objective Primus, we should at least check to see what's in the engineering.
You can see a very nasty smile on Raspanas, and he will say, "Oh, I agree with the predecessor. We should go and check, but I agree with the previous person as well. We don't need to save any tech priests. We can just check what's there. Maybe there's information there, but don't waste too much time there."
The only priority that we have right now is getting to the hangar bay and getting out of the space station. It's secondary to what we need to do, and we can't let it affect our ability to escape, but it seemed quite important for us to make sure that we overheard what the navigators were planning, whatever it would be. Although I've only recently had a data chip implanted in my head, I've got some rudimentary knowledge of the navigators, but I have to admit their unnatural gifts unsettle me. I fear that if we were to muddy the waters with additional Mechanicus operatives that we will need to shepherd to the extraction zone, we might end up alerting the navigators to our presence, and I, for one, don't want a room full of angry psychers, current company accepted, to know exactly where we are and throw their weird powers at us.
Perhaps only a group of us can, after we rescue whatever tech priests, if there's even are there, maybe a small group of us may eavesdrop on it while the other shepherd the tech priests towards the ship.
So what you're saying is we should attempt to save some priests and listen in to what is actually happening with Navigator's house.
Yes, these are
Then try to escape. Is that correct?
Yes, these were the orders we were
So-
given.
So?
So,
So,
So?
You can actually see him grinding his teeth at this point.
So if we'll, that's a question.
So,
If we would go to the engine room, how much time we will have left to come back to the? Are those two places far away from each
not
other?
necessarily. It's right one above the other.
Good question. I'll bring you to the appropriate screen.
At least the GM said it's very close by one over another.
I did. So you're moving outside of the white areas here. You're moving in the black areas through the maintenance shaft. So you're moving essentially just ignoring the paths, ignoring the doors. You can move straight from there, straight to there, for instance. So you're moving one level above this map. And the monastic chambers is right next to the cryostasis and the furnaces.
can I attempt to propose something?
We're in the role-playing scene, and you're in the
Yeah.
hallway.
No. I'm asking in character.
okay, sorry.
No, that was my character asking permission. I've been around Mechanicus every so often, and whilst their intelligence and their natural ability with machinery is unparalleled, their ability to move quietly would be tenuous at best, especially if they are scared or angry or not willing to work with us. I could go on my own to the dynastic chambers and listen in. I feel confident with that. And the rest of you could help move the Mechanicus, as many as we could, to the hangar bays. you could open the doors up, especially with a bunch of Mechanicus helping out. I'm sure they can open whatever doors are going to be shut for us, and then that only leaves one of us to get back to the main group.
Are you sure you will be left alone? Chances are we won't have enough time to reach and help you.
It's a risk, but I've been told that that's what we have to do, and I'm used to working on my own. And well, I don't know how each and every one of you are in terms of your capabilities of remaining quiet. If we wish to split it 2 and 2 to spread out to make sure that I've got backup, I'm happy to have one of you with me if you feel confident in your abilities to remain quiet. But what I don't want to have happen is for us to attempt to listen into the dynastic chambers with the Mechanicus with us. That's going to endanger every single one of us if we try to do that. So I think doing each objective separately will likely mean a less chance of detection.
And on my head. I mean, it kinda does make sense.
Raspanas will look around the room and will ask, this is the chamber where they will have the meeting, yes?
I mean, by the looks of things, I think we're still in the. We're just looking at the map right now. Yeah, so we're currently somewhere in the maintenance bay. We're not actually in the dynastic chambers.
We're in the walls here.
Yeah, we're in the walls. There you go. The dynastic chambers are there, and the docking area is on the southern side. We're moving further and further away from the navigators, and it'll be a longer trek. But we can't move to cryostasis, then to the dynastic chambers, then down. If we bring the Mechanicus with us, that means that we're more likely to be spotted. So I suggest that we do it separately, and then either make our own way, or we meet up somewhere, perhaps the Atmos mass transit. We might be able to cover ourselves in the crowds, but that's a risk. Or we can keep to these maintenance tunnels and make our way entirely to the docking area with the Mechanicus in tow. They should be able to help us navigate these maintenance tunnels. This will probably be more their home turf than it is for us.
What the Mechanicus don't actually know it. What if we have to use a maintenance, what they call the mass transit? I mean, hell, the Mechanicus.
This isn't about the Mechanicus. This is about a member of the Inquisition asking us. I don't know much about the Inquisition.
He has made a request, and unfortunately, operational imperatives have overridden his request.
Sir, it was not a request. It was an order.
It was secondary. He did tell, in all honesty, he did say that the priority was for us to evacuate and for us to be able to find whatever information we can from the navigators. The Mechanicus retrieval is secondary to our cause. It didn't sound like it would be mandatory for us to do, but it would, at the very least, make sure that we're not making enemies within our own court.
That way, should we question our betters?
If at all possible, may I...
Why is the Mechanicus not dealing with this?
Rykard, out of character. Is it possible for me to just give a little glance at Rykard and his sort of vehemence against the Mechanicus? Can I determine whether this bias against the Mechanicus is personal rather than out of operational necessity?
Yes.
Awesome. I shall roll scrutiny.
Oh goodness.
I at you real hard.
I out if I can actually.
Oh yeah, he knows. He knows.
He knows.
What do I determine?
Do you determine? You determined that I hate them.
Mm.
They are literally the scum of the earth to me.
This is definitely personal, not out of necessity. Commissar, with respect, I believe that the mission requires us to take aside any of our potential biases that we may have. I, for one, don't want to go anywhere near the dynastic chambers. I want nothing to do with anything to do with those kind of things, but
You
We don't
understand the
have-
only reason that I have not executed you is because you're an acolyte of the Inquisition.
I understand. But we work in our own ways, and he looks towards the other two to try and see if he can get a bit of support against the stubborn commissar. And I think most of us do want to help the Mechanicus, or at the very least, not help the Mechanicus, but help our superior. Help. His name has now been lost to me.
His name has been lost to you, and you
No.
call him your superior.
No, I can't remember his fucking name out of character. The tech priest who gave us the mission. But
It's not the easiest name to remember. It's
Yeah.
So Macri Corpum C36.
yeah,
Doesn't roll off the tongue.
I think I think it would do us well to ingratiate ourselves with the only person who hasn't, so far in this facility, tried to kill us. He did help us, and I think we owe him that. I understand if you don't trust them, or you don't want to risk the operation if you feel that you can't work with them, but we owe it to the person who's at the very least given us a shred of information in this place and hasn't left
And
us
the
to
rest
the
of you?
wolves.
How do you feel on this matter? Seems you stand alone.
Well, you're asking me, yes?
Asking everyone.
I think having a debt is a very bad thing for Mechanicus, so if they will have a debt to you, that's a shame for them. And we need to just take them with us. We don't need to drag them around all the time. I would go for the meeting, and right after it I would follow the docks to get as many Mechanicus out, and then take payment from them for that.
Anyone else want to chime in?
I think our other compatriots BRB'd.
I'm here. So you can all do a intelligence test.
Which make me do an intelligence too. It's 5.
Oh Jesus. Okay. This is
You know what? I'll use my inspiration. Why
No,
not?
I'm actually gonna do that as well because that's disgraceful.
Ooh!
well, that's pretty. That's better
I
than that.
still have to use my intelligence test, or
No. Tinolti, you have a flash of insight.
you can do the thing.
I can't do the thing. They're new players, or can I? It's not really visual. We have a tradition in the game where if you roll a nat 1, you get to describe this epic thing, and if everyone agrees that it's super epic, then you get a fate point. But we'll spare you for that. It can be a little tough as a new player. But as you walk through the hallway, you can see Tunolti just he sort of puts his head down and claps his head. I don't know, maybe you want to describe it, Tim? David?
Yeah, no. As I'm sort of trying to figure out a way to convince, to try and kind of overcome the prejudice with just sheer brutal logic of the whole situation, Tin's kind of gone really into himself, and you can see him like kind of like clenching his hands together, kind of squeezing his fingers, trying to figure out, and then he sort of looks down, looks up, and then suddenly something snapped, and you can see his eyes shoot up towards the commissar once again.
Perfect. When you had the data slate, you read about the dynastic chambers and the adepts cryostasis, and you sort of pieced together an easy way to present it. That is, that the dynastic chambers would require someone to be quiet, nimble, and agile. Whoever goes there cannot be discovered. You cannot be seen. You have to make it to the meeting and make it out without being spotted. You have to make sure that whoever goes there have to be able to make their way around corridors and tunnels and catwalks without being spotted. That is the skill that is needed to succeed there. The furnaces and the tech priests, where they have been taken, that is not off limits to regular menials, tech priests, and so on. And there is, you even read through the logs there, that there is a Lex Mechanic, Veeb 43, who is in charge of the entire station there. He has been processing magos for whatever reason. And even though he is of a lower standing, he seems to be in charge of that whole place. If there is a way to convince him, or to look the part, to belong among tech priests, that would be someone who would succeed in at least seeing the tech priests and maybe even discovering what's happening to them. So there are two very different skill sets needed for either location.
Largo, and he sort of looks at that. There's a lexicographer. He's a junior. It's part of the encrypted data as he sort of brings up Largo's profile. He's separate. He's not part of the Mechanicus, but he could be an interim. If we can trust him, he could be sent to convene and maybe get the Mechanicus out of whatever it is they are, or at the very least report to us what's happening to them. We might be able to offset us having to deal with the Mechanicus and leave it to the station's own. We set the right people on the right way, but it means that we wouldn't have to directly risk ourselves with the Mechanicus, and you wouldn't have to deal with it. If you think that you could convince this lexicographer, you could pawn off the duty, and then we can focus entirely on the dynastic chambers and our evacuation.
That's actually quite smart. Good on you. If the lexicographer is a gentleman, I can surely convince him of the importance of such a, well, in convincing him to assist us.
Shouldn't be impossible as well. He's deep in with the Mechanicus lot. He seems to be processing the Magoses himself. He might have some kind of affection towards the organization, or maybe he wants in himself. It might not take too much.
Maybe he does it under duress. Either way, I'm certain I can find a vulnerability and convince him to assist us.
Commissar?
Oh. If you believe this is the best course of action, I would be intrigued to see how it goes.
There's also a second option for the tech priests. If you'll tell me exact location of them, I can try to look there in different way.
The Commissar and I, we go to the dynastic chambers and we listen in. That means that I've got a strong arm to help me just in case things go wrong, and judging by the camel cloak
Let me just interject. I and you. Indeed.
Well then, make the two groups finally, so I will go to help the Mechanicus in the docks.
You will deal with the dynastic chambers, and me and Raspanza here will deal with the Lexotref. If that fails, I'm sure Raspanza will figure something out.
I will try. So if we are settled, we should move. We only have that much time that we have been given.
Right. As I will try to return to the servitor that was working on a cogitator, and I would try to show him a way and access to where the location of Lexotref Larco would be.
Javi, before you go, just wait a moment. Can we all set the same channel for our microbeats? I assume all of you are equipped with them.
Yeah, I was provided what we got here.
Yes, so let's please set one channel and let's first make sure that nobody else is using it. I hope it's possible in this structure.
Custom frequency 2x12-64.
2x12-4.
64.
64.
You will see Adam also placing the backpack down and pulling out what seems to be a VOPS unit. Should we be too far apart, we will at least be able to send you some information. However, I don't think the microbeats have enough strength to reach us back. At least you'll know about our current situation.
Very well.
Excellent. And as you open the panel to the data slate, you will try to access it. You can do a tech use test.
I will use. Would I be able to use a mind impulse unit to interact with it seamlessly? So he would pull from the back of his head this socket that seems to be attached to with a black string as he finds a port in the machine spirit interface as he begins to commune with it, and runes appear on the pit display without Adam even touching the rune board.
A little cogwheel will pop out, a punch card. You sort of wiggle it back and forth, it's a little bit rusted. A screen will start to flicker and this orange glowing text will appear. Do you know Lingua Techna?
No.
Okay. You will have to do a security test at -10.
-10, that's with a plus, then that's gonna be a flat.
So the punch card comes out.
Oof, inspiration. Inspiration, that.
And to an ulti, you get an inspiration point, by the way. As you drag the punch card out, you like cover it with a couple of fingers. Scratch off some dirt, pull it back in, and you can barely recognize a binaric code needed to enter. There is no text to help you. Fortunately, you barely grasp the meaning of it with your familiarity with security. And a reference to the map that you have will appear. So you know the exact location of the Lex Mechanic.
I, with a loud piston-like sound, the cord ejects from the cogitator as it returns back into Adam's neck, and he turns around to the rest and says, "Well, I know where to find the Lex Mechanic."
You can see that the commissar and... Is it the two commissars? Yeah, the two commissars have gone.
Not a commissar.
Yeah, and the commissar and Tin. It's only you and Raspanas.
Last one is they're gone. They didn't even say goodbye.
Well, maybe they think they will see us again. Let's move now. The task is ahead of us.
Excellent. You go through corridors deeper and deeper into the maintenance tunnels towards the cryostasis. And you can both, or one of you rather, can roll a d10.
Do you feel lucky? Nice, high five.
1 is good, 10 is bad.
Oh, we have
five.
5.
Five is middling.
Okay. So, as you move forward, there is one checkpoint that you have to get around. You see that the maintenance tunnel goes on a little bit further. There is some rudimentary security measure here now. And as you walk across a catwalk, you will look down. Beneath you, you can see a man in a black robe. He has a symbol of an eye on his chest. And he's bald, his eyes are wild, and is sort of throwing glances around. You gather that he might have some psychic powers. Fortunately, he is very busy as he rushes past you. Again, you're on a catwalk looking down at him. You'll keep walking, and you're walking towards the cryostasis. As you approach, you will see more and more cogs, strange symbols and iconography on the walls. Several lanterns have been lit. There is incense glowing, flowing up into the tunnel, making it difficult to see. As you try to make it down, you're hanging from a ledge, and you have to pry open a sealed hatch or smash it to enter the complex. You can do a strength test plus 10.
How loud are we allowed to be?
The more degrees of success, the less loud you are. And there is a person right next to you. Right beneath you. You're just trying to pry it open.
That's nice. Can you, I don't know, move this thing? I'm not the strongest.
Me neither. But I look around. What kind of people are walking near?
Beneath you, you can see a tech priest. There is also a man in a black robe walking around. He's pointing in different places, seemingly giving orders. The room is lit with this red light.
Yeah.
There's a single catwalk into what looks like a control room. Several cogitators, pict recorders in the ceiling, and 2 large windows going down into what looks almost like a mining area. There's a strong red glow gleaming through the windows.
I shouldn't be using any of my powers with him, and I point to the black man walking around. Oh, let's try to pry it open together. I'm not also the one of the strong ones.
Okay. Perhaps this will help us as I pull out a knife from my armor. Obviously, he searches for it, so he most likely didn't put that knife there himself. As he says, maybe this will bring us some leverage, at least in the initial stages, as I try to stick it to where the hedge would meet the ground.
I will help you, my friend. Let's try to do a lift, one-way lift.
Excellent. The plus 10 is accounting for using some kind of leverage. So do a strength plus 10.
What's your strength? Mine is 23 if you have higher.
I will just roll.
No.
Let's not discuss the.
Oof.
You see Raz digging into this thing. The knife slides down, and his hands are not very beefy, but he like pushes as hard as he can, and finally you hear this little gasp as he kind of gives up. And the knife slides down the wall. You barely catch it, so it doesn't make a noise. But you look around, and you don't seem able to get this thing open. You'll have to find another way around. You guys can roll another 1d10.
Okay. But I will ask him anyway before we'll go further. Tavi, do you know how to talk with the tech priests? We could try to make one of them open it for us.
I'm not familiar in Technolingua. Besides, it requires a secondary voice modulator. You cannot pronounce the words yourself with a human throat.
That's true.
Your frustration. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Let me try one thing, and I will try. We'll step few steps away from that hatch, and the tech priest next to us. I will try to connect to his mind and send him a thought, like a vision of something break, some kind of wire being breaked right behind that hatch, so that he should feel an urge to fix it.
Awesome. Okay, you look down the catwalk, down in the control room. He's walking around, and you try to reach him telepathically. A slight noise will be heard, almost like a wind. The tech priest will look up towards the corridor. You heard something, but you're fine this time. Your power fails to manifest.
Yes. I will say, just give me a moment. This place is so rude and metal. He will clear his throat, and this time he will focus. May I attempt again with some kind of minuses? Okay, because I don't know why it's auto cast. It doesn't allow me to lower my power level. But anyway, I cast it. Yeah.
Excellent. You reach the mind of a tech priest. For a brief moment, you're overwhelmed. There are the zeros and ones, mathematical equations, questions, thoughts. You're just met with this wall of noise. You can see Raz just clutching his head in pain, maybe a little groan. It is literally painful to be inside of this head.
I will try to just create a message of broken that location, and I will just post it randomly in this huge maze of questions, so that the question would be the most often coming up.
Perfect. That's awesome. You can see him sort of turn around, like he's thinking of something. He turns over his shoulder, and his eyes sort of dart back and forth into the room.
Oh, I should. No, wait.
And he will walk towards a catwalk at the opposite side of the room, leading up to your level.
And I will say, Till, let's just behave. Tavy, sorry. Let's just behave naturally. He should open it now.
His
Okay.
character name is Adam.
Adam, not
Oh, sorry. Yeah, in the parentheses we have Adam. Yeah, Adam. Let's just look normal. And just to hide, Rasputin will take some kind of cloth and he will cover his eyes like he would be one of the astropath.
Now, eventually, you will hear a wheel start to turn around and around like a cog, and then this squeaking, whistling noise of machinery being unlocked, and finally, this door opens. The tech priest stands there right in front of you. Have you made any effort to hide?
with
You're
the
in the
wall.
maintenance area, but
I was just hidden in the plain sight with my eyes covered like a typical astropath walking around. I would even not say anything, I will just walk past the door when they will open with my hands up in the air like some kind of a crazy dude.
Adam.
I would try to my Romanian club would switch to that of a standard menial. However, I would do rather not be questioned, so I would stay out of the tech priest's side.
To reiterate, you're in the maintenance tunnels above the normal walkways. Passengers and regular menials are not supposed to be here.
In that case, I would just try to avoid his side altogether.
Mm-hmm. Russ?
Yeah, Russ will, as I said, he will
Okay.
raise his hand and walk through the door
Got
like
it. Adam, do a stealth test. You get a +10 for the darkness.
Oh, goodness. Suspect 3.
Beautiful. You slip in between the cogitator and a large battery, completely hidden. Harass, as you reach your hands in the air, you can hear a gasp from the tech priest.
No.
He will immediately grasp something around his neck and click a button.
Intruders. Help.
I will say, oh, calm down, dear tech priest. I'm just one that navigate you in the space I might have lost during my meditation. I will leave immediately. Sorry for causing you a problem. I will try to leave the door as I remember where the door are, since I have my eyes covered.
There is no door. You're on an elevated catwalk, part of a maintenance tunnel. No
Oh,
doors.
okay, so he
But
opened
there's a
the...
metal hatch.
So I will try to walk to this hatch and attempt to walk down.
Okay. Do a -60 deceive test.
60. Where is it? Oof. It's a critical fail.
The tech priest, watching you walk by him, will start to scream, literally yell at the top of his lungs, and will look over his shoulder as you see several combat servitors walk up the catwalk.
Well, I will turn back and start to run, saying out loud nothing. I will just start to run in the other direction.
Yep. You immediately start running. The tech priest will attempt to hit you as you run past him.
Of course.
Do a dodge test.
So he managed to hit me. Okay, let me just do the
Do a dodge test.
Yes.
Dodge means he has not managed it yet.
Let me do Wait, this way.
Oh, success.
How many degrees?
With
two.
one.
Degree?
One? Oh, yeah.
Okie doke.
No, two. My bad.
degrees.
Success with 2 additional.
Perfect. The tech priest will grab something from his sleeve, pull it out. It is a small axe with a cog symbol at the other end. It looks like a ritual execution weapon. It looks horrible. You can even see some splatter of blood on it. As he swings the axe, it hits the other side of the wall, cutting a few wires, and sparks start to fly over your head as you duck under it and run past him. You run towards Adam. He's right in front of you.
I don't look at that direction. I want him to be safe. I just run forward.
Yeah. You run down the catwalk and try to get away.
During the run, I will look for a place where there are many people, and I will just try to hide in the crowd.
You are going to pass the combat servitors. They will have one attack. You can dodge again.
Of course. Cast. Use power or modifier 10.
Success with a lot of degrees.
I think
3
it's-
additional, 4? No, 4.
Yeah, 4 additional.
4 additional. Perfect. The combat servitor will load out what looks like a minigun, and it will just start to blast. You can see these flashes of light as these red rays fly over your shoulder. For whatever reason, you're able to predict the movement. All of your psychic senses just fly to the top of your mind, and you jump to the side right as it flies past you. A couple of the beams will hit the wall, and you see these big explosions as you jump through them and make it out of the room. You're going to sprint down the corridor and out of there as you can hear a distant alarm. Adam, you're still hiding in the shadows.
If
The security in the entire area is heightened. There are now 2 rotating combat servitors.
I would try to use as the combat servitors and maybe the tech priests are running after Raspanza. I'm trying to see if I can make a beeline to the opened hatch that the tech priest had opened without them spotting me.
Yep. You'll do an awareness test. Try to do a stealth, please, at a +10.
Got it.
Raspanas, you will pass the corner and you will slide into the crowd.
Perfect.
You are completely hidden.
Success with 7 additional.
So additional, and just keep in touch with the group through your microbead. As Adam, you slip into the shadows. Through the wires is like a scene from Predator or something, where they're like hiding behind vines, but instead it's wires. You like pull them aside, and you can see your eyes barely popping out through this red glow as you slither into the machinery. You are very well hidden. What would you like to try to do?
If the tech priest failed to close the hatch that would previously stand in between us and
completely. It's still open.
yeah, I try to make my way through it. So, noticing how the servitors and the tech priests are going after Raspanas or in his last known location, I quickly made my way to the hatch and try to see if there's a ladder. I put on the ladder and then I feel a hand on my shoulder as I see one of the wires just fell on my shoulder, but the fear already succumbed me as I was made a very manly each. Low enough for people not to notice, but enough for me to lose grip and fall down the shaft.
Eek. Wow.
You're gonna grab one of the vines as you're falling and use it as a sort of grapnel and line to hoist yourself down, grabbing it just before you land on the floor. You land in kind of this kneeling, epic position. You look to the left and right. It is dimly lit. It looks spooky, almost like a Halloween set. There's a cogitator at the end of the room with a large monitor. The Lex mechanic in the log files that Tin Ulti found is standing by one of the cogitators, eagerly operating it. And he's like a mad scientist, constantly coming up with new things and sort of reaching a finger up in the air and walking from machine to machine. Again, there are these huge windows overlooking what looks like a large shaft in front of you.
I would go through the microbit and say, Raspanas, I see the main target, the Lex mechanic. I can start talking with him.
Good
Should I
luck.
do it?
Yes, good luck. I will try to reach you or Docs, whichever is easier. And Raspanas will probably just go in the crowd looking for a ways to get to the Lex Mechanicus, or if it's impossible, to the Docs.
Excellent. Adam.
I see. Okay, I'll keep you posted. As I try to approach very softly the Lex mechanic. However, I will try to keep a distance from the windows that overview the shaft in case there's people or pit recorders watching through them, trying to obfuscate. And I will approach him until I notice that there's nothing in between and me and that window, and say, Lex mechanic.
He will turn around, and he has an annoyed expression on his face. He looks stressed. He looks at you, looks up at the ceiling. What does he see when he spots you?
He sees a he sees a very small statured man, a 1.7 meters tall, wearing a cloak over him that from time to time seems to change colors as to best make itself one with the surroundings. He has a quite advanced armor that seems to be that of a military man, but the demeanor he has is nothing but more like a desk jockey, if anything. He Adam doesn't have his helmet on as he tries to talk with the large mechanic, so he would say a very concerned-looking administratum worker, very scared, like he's out of his depth.
He looks over his shoulder at you, and he looks extremely startled.
What are you doing here?
Let's sort the effort, Largo. Please, we need your help.
For what?
There are rumors that tech priests are being slaughtered in the furnace.
What? What is this? Who are you?
My name is Adam. I'm a menial tasked by one of the tech priests that he either heard or one of his colleagues has been dragged there. I was tasked with investigating this, but I'm way out of my field.
Dragged here? Impossible. Everyone comes here voluntarily. What is his name?
Lord Samakri.
His eyes widen as you say Samakri. Yes?
He tasked me with this. He said that mayhaps you can help me.
I cannot help you. Is this an inspection? If so, it is highly unusual.
Please, believe me. If there's a chance that tech priests may be taken against their will, Lord Samakri would investigate it immediately. And from what I gathered, he wouldn't do so without probable cause.
Ah, child. You are so naive. Come with me. I will show you that he is quite all right. Come right through this door.
He is going to walk towards a large door, pulling a lever on the wall as he does. As the noise starts to spread through the room, you can see a couple of his brethren appear, and there are now 3 tech priests. You bow to them and look out the blast door windows. The metal plates protecting the window are starting to open, and they slowly slides open. Through the windows, you can see a row, an endless row of chained tech priests working on smelting and manual labor. Many are exhausted and on the ground. You can do a forbidden lore test, Inquisition. -40.
I don't have it.
Alrighty. You look at their tech priests and make up your own mind about the legality of this. The tech priests seem to be suffering, and you can see some of them dead on the floor.
This mechanic, this doesn't seem right.
Oh? It will slowly turn to you. You can see mining carts, burning pits, on rails screeching above. They're carrying molten metal, tech priests used for very inappropriate labor. Some have fainted and died. There are hundreds of them. He will walk towards a large cog on the wall. The 2 tech priests will slowly wander over to the wall, open it, and you will see the feet of a combat servitor begin to barely move. He looks to the door, the exit to the room that is slowly closing, as he slowly turns back to you.
For a moment, I thought you were here to relieve the Magos for the operation. But I see that you have been mal-informed.
He opens the chamber in front of you, and you can see rows and rows of cryostasis chambers. He has a slight smile, almost like pride, on his face as he looks to you.
Yes, all the Magos are in cryo-sleep. They have served their purpose, and will be awakened when the Scion demands it. You see, not all brethren were loyal. Loyal to the Navigators. And you know what loyalty pays. And disloyalty.
As he does, he looks to the other end, and the 2 tech priests start to approach him.
You are not supposed to be here.
I would take a step back and look left and right to see a form of escape. Any other exit?
Just where you came from.
Is it still open?
Yep.
You've lost your mind. as I turn around and try to make bolt it the way I came.
You have lost yours.
And he will pull out a large gun, point it at your head, and attempt to kill you. Do a dodge test as you start to run.
Success with 1.
1 degree. Alrighty. That is going to be 1 hit on you. He has a automatic weapon. And you take... to the left leg.
Oh!
You're gonna take... Oh Jesus. Hold on, I lost my dice.
Damage so high, the fucking dice fell.
It's 18 energy damage, penetration 5
Jesus Christ.
to the left leg.
Well, I got good news and bad news.
You're alive, but your leg's gone.
No, I'm alive, but that time I'm at 1. So as he sees, he pulls the gun as Adam is about to leave, and he manages to fall, trip over something, falling, managing to dodge 2 of the rounds, yet either due to recoil or just Adam's bad luck, a third one manages to catch his leg. It would have hit his head if it were not in the way.
Perfect. You get an inspiration point. You jump away, the bullet hits your leg, and you literally feel like collapsing. You bump into the wall, and as you do, the combat servitor takes aim. Do you have another dodge?
I do. But from the step aside can't now.
Nah, damn. You lowered yourself.
Oh boy. Thank you for the inspiration.
That's a stealth
I'll use it. Oh. I think it's the same. No, it's not the same. Sorry.
Thanks for the honesty though.
No, it is the same. It is the same. So either way, I'm gonna inspiration it, because I would have failed. Success with 2. I will use a faith point to make a success with 3 if it's not enough.
It will be... So it's gonna be... It's 2 degrees?
Success with 2 additional.
Perfect. No, that's just enough. So the bullets are going to ricochet, hit between your legs, panels explode, just see sparks flying everywhere, and you jump through the sparks out of the room as the combat servitor and tech priests follow you.
So, as the combat servitor just launches this burst as it approaches Adam's crouch, and Adam just basically screams backwards, crawling backwards as the burst follows him until finally he manages to cross the threshold.
Perfect. You jump out of the room into safety, meet back up with Adam, and the both of you extract. I'm going to say that you have enough time to make it back to the entrance of the domestic chambers. Whether you want to enter or you want to go around, it's up to you. You're all standing outside of a beautiful hallway. The scenery changes. You can see pillars, Romanesque pillars, beautiful marble floor, chandeliers in the ceiling, old paintings, candles across the walls, and the occasional servant will walk past you. It is eerily quiet. Whenever someone walks across the floor, you will hear the tapping of their feet, this echoing noise. The dim yellow glow from the lumen barely illuminates your faces. As you look at each other, you can see the white in your eyes, and you sort of slowly sneak into this room and there are these mezzanines overlooking each room. You can barely see. Who's using the measuring tool?
Me.
Ah, that was a little annoying. All good though. You can see a few doors leading further in to other rooms. What would you like to do?
So, whilst they were on their little excursion, could I have scouted around the place? Importantly, try to find what is likely to be the main meeting chamber and a potential easy access to the maintenance tunnels again, so sort of shortest distance to make sure that we're minimizing risk.
Absolutely. Would you like to go through the upper level, through these places where the servants walk? It's a little more populated, but hidden from the navigators. Or do you want to try to move around on the ground level?
I want nothing to do with the fucking navigators. Yeah, we'll go around with the servants.
Perfect. Roll a d10.
Nice.
You always have to call out the result because I'm not looking at the.
Sorry,
looking at
2.
10 different screens. Yeah.
2. It's all good.
Cool. So, all of you are gonna see Tin Ulte. Lean down. What are you wearing as you do this operation? Do you prepare anything out of your backpack or something like that?
Well, I'm definitely trying to do this full-on Splinter Cell style. I would have found the entrance into the maintenance tunnel. I would have left the backpack with all of the stuff in there. I would have kept nothing except for the auto pistol on my shoulder. I'm trying to do this as minimalistic as possible because I want to make sure that there's very little for people to kind of question about. If at all possible, find at least some generic servant's robes to cover the synth skin, which should be able to mask my detection as I'm trying to walk around. But for the most part, I'm still I still have the Presence goggles kind of hidden under the hood of the robes that I would have tried to pilfer, as well as the picked recorder and the Allspecs. So those are the 2 items that I have in my hand right now.
Awesome. Do you have some kind of vision augmentation? Something to help you see better?
Yes, I do. I have the Presence goggles.
So you're literally Splinter Cell. You have
Yes.
night vision type of goggles. You got the fucking balaclava. You got the you're kneeling down, sort of hands out to brace yourself, and all of you can see this. It looks like someone has trained their entire life to do this. As Tin gets down, he will look over his shoulder, and you can see for the first time since you met him, a man who is truly in his element. He kneels down, you look away, and when you look back, he's gone. Tin, you are reaching the upper levels of the mezzanine, and you're going to look down into a large chamber. You can see one guard guarding the door, and you're moving forward. As you try to move forward, there is a path further up, and to get down, you have to hang from a ledge. You can easily jump down to an open hatch below. You have to do an acrobatics test. You get a plus 20.
Okay. We'll go ahead and do that.
So you're just leaning over the side of the mezzanine, jumping on a little platform.
Yep. 6 degrees of success in total.
You jump off there like a ninja. You just land completely quietly on top of this little wooden box there. Moving forward, you jump back up to the mezzanine and continue. Roll another d10. Low is good, high is bad.
Ooh, 9. Bad.
I
suppose I could use my inspiration for that one.
Nope, not these ones, unfortunately.
Sag.
Yeah. So as you're crawling through this rested ventilation system to get through the next room, it suddenly collapses on your leg. unless you react fast enough, it will keep you there. Do a -10 dodge test.
Alright. I will use my good inspiration for that one. There we go. 5 degrees of success.
Just as the gate closes, some kind of security measure, you pull the leg back and it slams down. It would have cut your leg clean off. You slither through the tunnel into the next room and you look down. Now you can see a shield on the wall, a family crest. Do a knowledge test, Navigator's -20.
Would that be scholastic or actually it wouldn't really matter.
Scholastic.
I know nothing.
Looks
Wait.
nice. Nice
You
colors.
can use your inspiration to re-roll it if you want.
I already used my
You
inspiration
still-
for the dodge.
Use your fate if you want.
Yeah.
It's probably not too.
For the moment, I don't think that is a.
Hmm.
That's just something I don't know.
Cool.
Well, if they've got heraldry on the wall, it's important no matter what. So, I mean, most likely a major house.
Mhm.
Does it look like a meeting room?
It looks like the headquarters of a one of the houses,
Hmm.
or
Okay.
their personal chambers.
Okay. No sign of. Can I have a little sort of look around the room? I want to know if it looks like anything's been recently disturbed. That maybe people are kind of walking in and out of this place, or maybe this is a sort of moment to potentially do a bit of snooping and stealing.
Perfect. You look down on the floor with your presence goggles. You zoom in. There is a distinct blood splatter on the ground. Someone has attempted to clean it up. And you can also see burn marks, like someone fired a flamer here. Part of the floor has been scorched.
It's something curious. Perhaps they've been doing a bit of culling of their own kind. Maybe they're not all traitors. Okay. Let's see if we can find something down there. Can I crawl out of the vent and just quickly make my way down and see if I can look through various drawers, maybe move a painting aside, see if there's a safe nearby, just anything that might have been missed if this place has been.
Yes. You can softly try to drop yourself down on the floor. Do an acrobatics test, +20.
Okay. Oh, I also have catfall, so that's an additional +20.
Perfect. You succeed. Completely silent, like a cat. Drop yourself down, and it's. If you would have looked at it, it looks just like some kind of motion falling from the mezzanine, and then just completely silently landing on the marble floor. You walk across it with your soft shoes or socks with grip towards the cupboards and closets along the wall. As you grab them and sort of slide them open, you search one by one. And you can do a linguistics test.
Which one? Linguistics? I've got 3.
High Gothic.
I do not have that one.
Oof.
Big oof.
You can do a heraldry test. Flat.
Okay, that would be Scholastic Law Heraldry.
Yep.
Ooh, I rolled 2.
Perfect.
Nice.
You don't recognize much, but this crest on this house belongs to House Emeduseli. Emeduseli is a renegade house. Deeply mutated, very troubling. The development is not good. Their standing with the Inquisition is dubious. You don't feel good after recalling what you know about this house. However, you look at some of the documents, and there is a basic schematic of the surrounding area. You'll get an advantage to navigating further, and you see that the 3 other great houses have their own chambers adjacent to this.
I think in a low whisper, I will tap on the microbead because I did see the other guys come in. So hopefully they're within a kilometer distance. And I will go testing. Can anyone hear me?
You can hear him.
I think I can hear someone on the watch. 1 second. As I put the backpack down and pull out what seems the receiver of the watch. Yes, hello?
I've managed to get into the Navigator's chambers, their living quarters. This one, the low-standing Navigator house, Ishele. It looks like there may have been a recent fight, or potentially a cull. The flamer was used, and blood's been spilled. I have a schematic of the area. I can search the other living quarters for more evidence of what's going on here. Or do you wish for me to head back and wait at the chambers?
I'm not sure, however. Be very careful with that house. I've heard that they've picked fights with inquisitorial workbands all over Askellon system. Most likely, they won't take kindly to your intrusion, and if they find out your inquisition, well, death might be a blessing.
Understood. From what I can see, maybe they've already had a fight with Inquisition agents, or there may be some kind of internal struggle with the Navigator houses. I'll check further, see what more evidence I can find, see what's going on.
Perfect.
One more thing. We have found the Magoses. They're in the Triune chambers. If you get a cogitator, or if you are to search for something, check which house has any involvement in this.
Copy that. I'll try and find out who has links to the Mechanicus.
Just as you say that, the door will open to the room you're in. You hear a little creak.
Am I able to duck behind? Am I close enough to the door where I can sort of try and duck behind it to try and hide?
No, but you're close enough to a large closet to where you can either hide inside or behind it.
We shall go for behind it.
Cool. You slither in behind it, and the door opens. Do a +20 stealth test.
Oh yeah, they'll never know he's there.
You become part of the furniture.
I'm incredibly quiet.
Yeah, you're
Actually, that should have been an additional degree of success because the camo cloak should have provided an additional +10.
You disappear behind the closet. Eventually, the person will find something on a table and walk out of the room. You wait until you can't hear their footsteps anymore. You're fine.
Alright. Let's continue onwards.
Yep. Do another D10. And again, I'm assuming you're moving in the top floor, not the bottom.
Yes.
Alright.
5.
Let us see. You're going to climb across narrow hanging catwalks. Still looking down at these main chambers. You have to move quickly, as the next room has rotating picked cameras. You can do an athletics or strength. Athletics +20 or strength +10.
Athletics +20.
Cool.
Great success.
You will completely quietly run across the catwalk, jump down on the next one, keep running, always kneeling, looking down. There are 3 armed guards there. They're carrying ginormous weapons. If you want, you can do a militarum test to see if you recognize them.
Jesus. I don't recognize them.
Nope. You will continue onward, and you're close to the inner chambers of the Navigator houses. Do one last D10.
3.
You have to navigate through what is a maze of corridors to get back to where you were. Do a survival test or intelligence +10.
Survival, do I get a bonus because of that rudimentary thing that I found?
What rudimentary thing?
You said that I found a schematic of the area.
Oh. Yes, absolutely. You will get a +10 from that.
Okay.
+20. Awesome. You easily turn around through these upper levels and suddenly find yourself looking through this classic metal grit ventilation hatch into these central officios. You can see navigators, psychers, and you can see what looks like a Navis Scion. Do a knowledge test for navigators, -10.
Two degrees.
Excellent. As you spot one of the Scions, he will give some orders to two of his operatives in the room. As they turn around, you recognize him. This is the Navis Scion of House Rosa. You officially, the Inquisition, has an agreement with House Rosa that you're to be able to move freely around where they are, as long as you don't cause any trouble.
Mm.
And the Navis Scions are the diplomats of the Navigators.
Okay, so this is definitely where they're meeting.
If anyone is... Well, you're not sure of that, but you know that if anyone is likely to talk to you, it will be this person. They're not trained in combat, they can't fight. They're just good diplomats.
It's not a good thing, I can't really do that! No, that's just going to risk my detection. I can't risk talking to this person because they're diplomats, people want to speak to them. That's a risk I can't take. To stick to the shadows and for the moment just regret.
Yeah. As he turns around, his face is lit up with the candlelight. He has grey curly hair, dark skin, and a lordly chiseled face. He walks to the desk, is going to pick up an ink pen and begin to write something. He will keep moving.
Am I able to try and determine what he's writing down? See if I can figure out what this.
Can you zoom in with your device?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Yes, Presensors have built-in binoculars into them.
How much can you zoom?
Oof. They're magnoculars, so
I think it's quite a lot. I think you can see. I think you can see quite far.
It's like a military issued binocular.
Yeah.
Now
Just
you're
trying to
fine,
find.
you're
Yeah, okay.
fine. Do a linguistics test, high Gothic.
I can't do
No.
that.
We're back to square one.
Damn this nobility and their high Gothic.
These fucking Latin users.
It says some fucking weird shit. You have no idea. Letters
That's all
upside
good.
down.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You can move through this ventilation shaft, and basically all of these chambers of the great houses are adjacent to one another.
Let's try and find an empty one.
You move to the next one, and to the next one, and finally you're in a small cupboard, what looks like a cleaning room of sorts. There is a single menial standing there, leaning up against the wall, in a small claustrophobic room. You can hear this bated breath as he's almost falling asleep.
I can't do what I want to do. Oh, so many opportunities, but I'm not a suave Batman who can do that. No, I'm too scared. They're navigators. They're psychers. They're witches. They can see into my thoughts. No, I'm staying in here. The vent is safe.
All right.
But this all.
Dude, I came from a demon world. I don't trust psychic shit as far as I can throw it.
The next chamber. You spend a little more time. We don't need to go through all the rolls. You look through the cracks of the ventilation shaft once again. There is a beautifully ordained room, a large wooden desk, and several chandeliers, carpets, beautiful paintings, candles along the wall. A bald, short, older man. You recognize him as a Navigation. If you want, you can do another Navigator test, -20.
Let's go. One 2 degrees success.
Sick. This is Navigation Alaric Brun. He is very friendly. Has been very friendly with the Inquisition. He brokered the agreement to let you investigate House Maimon. And even though... So first the players or the acolytes made an agreement with House Maimon to help them with some shipments of some resources they needed. This has happened previously.
Yeah.
But you would know this. So they helped them get some shipments. You've done that for them. You've done plenty of services. Maybe you can remind us of everything you've done.
We haven't done much. Just delivered the super rare Summersen shipment, which is highly coveted in the galaxy and literally cost us an arm and a leg. Lifted all trade restrictions upon the house and infiltrated a slaughterhouse/prison and retrieved one of their diplomats. But nothing much, just business as usual.
Unfortunately, some of the reputation was undone when one of your acolytes was caught sneaking around in their private chambers. He was caught in an interrogation. He killed everyone, slaughtered a bunch of their people, and there's a little bit of tenseness after that.
Fuck.
But
had to be because he was sneaking
Welcome to the
around.
party. This has all happened in previous sessions.
Yeah.
I like you have the same sentiment as I do.
The problem being is that I'm like, if he's the one trustworthy Navis House, I want to be able to talk to him and maybe get him to work with us. Problem being is that I'm doing the exact thing that pissed them off to begin with. And we don't know who to trust right now, because as far as we know, anyone could be the one sending us at it.
You do know from the schematic that the meeting chamber where they're all supposed to meet is one security checkpoint away from this. You're very close to it. And
just before I leave, I kind of want to have a feeling for how this guy is. Does he seem relaxed? Does he seem like he's just walking a normal day, or does he, or is there sort of a bit of tension in the air? Does he look flustered, perhaps?
Yeah, good question. He's an older man. He looks like someone who's lived his whole life in an officio. He walks from table to table, sits down on his brown chair, lights some tobacco in a pipe, and he will just sit there and kind of make these humming noises. Occasionally look up at the paintings and blow some smoke. He looks very relaxed. And he is absolutely ancient, only held together with rejuvenate treatments.
I can't put my trust in him yet. We don't have enough information. All we know is that the Navigator houses are linked to some bad juju. They might have been the ones that tried to send an assassin after us, and they're currently #1 suspects. He's friendly with... But I can't risk not being able to Yeah, I can't risk losing the opportunity to record the meeting. That's why I brought the picked recorder. If he's not trustworthy and he raises the alarm, then that major source of intel that we need will go up in smoke. So, but the problem is that if he's not past the fucking conspiracy, then he might be walking into a trap. They might all be fucking murdered.
Dude, you don't know how happy I am to finally have a player who thinks. It's been so long. You're actually considering things and thinking. Oh my god. I'm blessed.
It's not for me to do. We can only work with the evidence that we've got. Can't trust anyone, not even our friends for the moment. I'm gonna have to endanger him. He's gonna have to attend that meeting without any kind of prior warning. Fuck. But that makes me wonder. No, we need that information. If he is an unfortunate victim of whatever the meeting may entail, there's paranoia going off and it gets all George R. R. Martin Red Wedding on us, then at the very least we'll have evidence and maybe we can go to other officials with the evidence if we can get it back, which takes priority. Work with what we've given. I'll leave him be, won't disturb him, and we'll get past the security checkpoint to the meeting room and set ourselves up to record the meeting secretly.
Perfect. You get an inspiration point. Fucking amazing. And you will lead the rest of the group after the chamber's empty and you have a perfect overview of everything. You're gonna spend like 30 minutes just getting familiar with the whole area. Leaving the hatches open, locking them open, getting familiar with how to jump and so on. You will assist the rest of the acolytes to make it all the way in.
So I sort of gesture towards them and I just go, I tried to find as much as I could. I need to take some lessons in High Gothic, I think. I couldn't understand most of their documentation, so I couldn't take anything useful. I'm sorry.
Perfect. You move through the last checkpoint. What did you do? One last D10.
Oh, let's hit that mad 10, shall we?
No, you do not want that. Oh, thank fuck. Oh,
Two.
thank fuck.
We got a 2.
Good. Whew. It's fairly simple to get in. It's from the main chambers, the ventilation tunnel that you found. You sort of lead them into the ventilation tunnel, slide your way in. All you have to do is drop down at the other end, and you see a large room with an oval-shaped table and many chairs, a large monitor, and braziers on the walls. You can all do a plus 40 acrobatics test. Acrobatics or athletics.
I'll take the acrobatics.
Yeah, I kind of knew that Tin would succeed at that.
Yeah, I'll be honest, it's kind of a spoiler.
3 degrees, nice. Ras.
Can I use the clip drop harness?
Yeah, you get a plus 10.
Perfect.
Plus 50, you got this, bro.
Oh, there we
Oh
go.
my. Yeah,
Actually, he didn't even give himself all of the bonuses.
Yeah.
It would have been like 4 degrees. But yeah, you hoist yourselves down quietly. Overlooking a chamber, you can see the participants already sitting there. Around the table, you very quietly sort of get into position, looking down over this table. You see just a rows and rows of representatives. Some obviously from the administratum, some members of the various houses, and even a representative or an agent that you recognize from the Inquisition. You are going to just look as they start to flood into the room. Do you want to do any particular tests or anything like that?
Maybe I will try to distinguish which of them are psychers and which of them are not, just so I know to whom pay more attention during talks.
Very nice. At the end of the table, there is there are two people. One is a woman. She's older, grey hair. She looks very witch-like. She has porcelain-like skin, lifeless white hair, and two reddish eyes that glow in the dark. You're pretty sure that her and a man across from her are both psychers. Or at least mutants. She also has a metal medallion on her head and a strap around her head, fastening it on her forehead.
Okay.
Do a lore test for navigators, minus 20.
I don't have lore navigators.
Okay.
We're all ignorant as shit.
What would you like to do?
And those two are the only psychers. Everyone else are not.
You sense a strong psychic presence from both of them.
Okay. And how does the gentleman look like?
He's an older man, wrinkled face. His face is kind of looks melted.
Melted face. Okay. Cool. And for the rest of the talk, I will be probably paying attention to them and them using any psychic powers like communication that I could to take over.
Awesome. The various participants of the meeting will carry huge scrolls into the room. They will open them up, sort of lay them across the floor and slowly roll them open. Any of you can do a linguistic Psygothic test. Because of the darkness, you can do minus 10.
I'm so glad that I bought these fucking Presence goggles that wouldn't have minded that if I can fucking read!
Does night vision assist me in any way? I don't have presence, but I do have night vision.
Yeah. You can ignore that.
May I, instead of reading them, may I record them?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've got my picked quarter out. So, if at all possible, just if there are any aberrations with any of these individuals, I kind of want to see who looks more fidgety, who looks more out of place in this meeting. I want to see. So I want to kind of determine.
One person by the door looks a little fidgety. He's just arrived and he's standing next to a younger woman, black slicked back, black hair. He's talking to her and is wearing this dark blue tunic. He's gonna, with his shifty eyes, he's gonna look across the room, and he catches your attention as fellow sneaky dude. You can do an awareness test.
Greetings, fellow sneaky dude.
Ooh.
I'll use my inspiration.
Go.
Here.
Can you read lips?
With awareness, I think.
Is there a specific talent?
Yep.
Awareness, special use awareness, I think it is.
Ah, right.
Look it up.
Got it.
I'll try to do it at the same time. Lip reading. Difficulty on the test is modified minus 10 for every 10 meters distance. A successful awareness test. So this is 10 meters away. I'm going to give you
So I would have succeeded, but only with a single success.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay.
The person is whispering and is leaning in to this woman's heir, and we'll say Alaric Brun has been taken care of.
Okay, time to check notes.
That is the House Maimon Navigator that you were just looking at.
Yeah. Do I recognize the Ashen Woman's regalia that would betray her house allegiance?
That is...
That's not my notes. Sorry, I'll take that back. Hang on.
Okay. Well, that's a good summary. The woman is a scion that you remember from House Maimon itself. An ambitious young Navi scion. You remember meeting her on the in the docking area.
Mhm.
As the scrolls are laid out, his members will stand up and start to discuss and point towards the table. Completely distracted. You can all do a +50 stealth test.
Literally doesn't get easier than the oh my fucking god. Reroll it, I don't care what you have to sell.
I would like to reroll it.
Yes. Please don't fail.
Okay.
Nice!
Oh god.
Okay.
You succeed, okay. So, the Administratum leader will start to collect the scrolls after they're done discussing. A couple of drawers will open, and at the bottom of the giant marble hall, surrounded by chandeliers and dim candlelit walls, they will start to store all of the scrolls there. A couple of guards will enter adjacent to you on the mezzanine, but it is pitch black, and you're all hiding very well.
I have managed to read some of the scrolls with hydrophic, if it counts. Yeah.
The scrolls are an agreement between all of the Navigator houses. When they arrive on the Forbidden World, they will form a union where they, if they find any artifact, they will immediately ally and basically take control of it. Until then, it's every man for themselves. They will all go searching for any treasures, any important artifacts, any origin to the sin. But if the origin is found, if the origin to the pandemonium is found, that house must share it immediately with the others.
These motherfuckers.
Until then, their allegiance is primarily to each other. They also forge what you see is a highly heretical agreement to give basically neutrality to a bunch of Xeno species, which they intend to use against anyone who opposes them. They have recruited the aid of several Xeno species that you have heard of. Anyone who gets in the way of their operation, they will use these mercenaries against them, and then disown any connection to them. It goes on and on in deep details about what to do in this and that instance, but that's the basic gist of it.
Does this include the individuals that I scouted out and almost interacted with before, like
Alaric Brune is dead, but the other
the old gentleman.
the old gentleman is at the table.
That motherfucker!
And
Oh, I'm glad I didn't trust you, you little shit!
he has signed, and all the members have signed. And you can see representatives from every house in the room. So it's an unholy union here. There's also a representative from the administrator. He seems quite subordinate, perhaps even controlled by these powerful psychic entities.
Puppet or otherwise, he's just enabling that little part of it to make it easier to pull this fucking sedition off.
Mm-hmm. You have an opportunity to sneak down the mezzanine and blend in crowd that is surrounding the participants, assistants, and so on. It's not super easy, but would any of you like to attempt it? Or do you just want to stay here and watch it?
No, I'm not risking that.
If you're not risking it, then I'm probably not bothering you with the others. Because there's
Honestly, if you're not doing it, there's no way in hell we're gonna do it.
No, I'm not.
Although,
No,
would we receive a great bonus from having the talent facing the crowd?
yeah, this isn't what I'm doing. Like I'm sneaking in the background. I can't risk being seen because if I have any interaction with anyone, I will fuck it up. So I can't do facing the crowd. That's not my MO.
Okay, I'm gonna risk you for the biscuit. I'll roll with facing the crowd.
Alrighty.
Try to shuffle through with the help of Tin. See a chef that it's behind the crowd itself. I will silently try to drop behind them and act naturally as I try to make my way through them, being just another face in the crowd.
You walk down the catwalk and try to slither into the crowd. First, you can do a -10 stealth test. You get a plus 20 from the face in the crowd.
Yeah, I actually also roll fellowship when I'm in a crowd.
Yes, you can.
So minus 10 with a plus 20, and my stealth is a plus 20. No, plus 30.
Yep.
Oh, fudge. Success with 2 additional.
Beautiful. So you probably make some gestures as you enter. You can see all of these important, high and noble people. They look almost like they're celebrating. Some of them have glasses of various fruit drinks. As you enter, they will... one of them will sort of nod politely. What kind of demeanor do you have when you enter the room? What do you look like?
Very relaxed, as I am surrounded by fellow intellectuals and at a high society ball, as it were. I am quite relaxed, and as a waiter, either being a servitor or a mind shuttle slave comes by with a tray, I would dare to take a glass of champagne from the tray as he passes by and take a sip.
Whilst he's doing that, I'd like to, from the hiding spots up near the rafters, I want to just scan and be his eyes and ears from this hidden location to potentially warn him if anyone's looking his way, if anything like that sneaky motherfucker who is clearly doing some violent stuff beforehand. So I want to put myself in a position to be Overwatch and maybe warn him if things go south.
Excellent. You all slowly watch the crowd begin to go quiet. An eerie silence fills the room, and you're just watching the smoke billowing out from incense and lights aligning the wall. At the end of the room, the word here will sort of point to a representative from one of the houses, who will bow, stand up. A creepy old man in a black robe will get up, sort of folding his hands on his chest.
The choirs must be seeded with stimulant stations. We will cultivate the science of discontent. All the pieces are in place. Our protectors must be kept in constant agony.
He forms his face of glee as he looks across the table at some of the rogue traders present. You can see that they are visibly uncomfortable being in the presence of the navigators.
Constant agony, so as not to weaken their psychic presence.
A woman will stand up. She has porcelain skin. She is one of the psychic presences you remember. She looks up at the mezzanine, just casting a glance up there, and you can see this eagerness, almost like she's hunting. And she just throws it in your direction, and for a brief moment you just sort of duck down. But she immediately looks back down at the table as nothing happened. And will start to sort of paint this picture with her hands across the table, with her long fingernails, as she looks at the various men around the table.
Any path followed precisely to its end always leads precisely nowhere. To avoid interference, we must allow our navigators to operate independently. Those of you who are led by the beacon, I implore you to trust us. Do not interrupt the ritual.
She will look across the table, and you can see some of the more easily impressionable rogue traders literally turn pale.
The future of our system rests on your silence. Your military might means nothing here. The mind commands the flesh, and it obeys.
She will sort of scratch her hands across the table, gives a creepy look around the room, and then back up to you. The representative from House Rosa will get up. You can attempt to read any kind of minds or anything you want to do. If you want, Raz.
Maybe I have a question if there was any psychic activity in the two psychic powerful individuals.
There was indeed.
Was I able to attempt to listen to it?
Do a science test.
Science.
You get a +10.
Ooh. How generous of you. 7 successes.
Yes. So she's projecting a strong psychic presence that usually leaves some signatures in the warp, some kind of signature of her intention. Is there anything specific you would like to look for or find?
I'm looking for, because if she's using psychics, she's visualizing, she's making the manifestation of warp here, so she's probably either visualizing it or attempting to do that. So maybe I could try to at least guess what she's planning to do or what she's preparing her mind to do.
Yeah. She is attempting to gain control over these men. She is intimidating them with her psychic powers. And she succeeded with a couple of them. They're frozen in terror.
I'm letting know rest of the team through the microbeat, but very silently, that she's trying to take over their minds.
Awesome. The House Rosa representative will get up and sort of nonchalantly attempt to do the same impressive gesture towards the other side of the table as he leans forward. What is best for the Imperium is not as simple as it first seems. The Serix Magnus Assembly were amassed many moons ago, an army of Skitari, masquerading as technicians, intending to seize anything they found. They would have destroyed it. Of course, their ploy did not escape our eyes, and the problem has been dealt with. Now, unfortunately, we had to sacrifice some of the Magnus. But we will replenish them with our own retinue. A representative from Maimon will get up. You have put us at great jeopardy. And they sort of go back and forth with this discussion and talk about the great artifact they're looking for. After a longer discussion, is there anything you would like to do in the room, Tavi?
I would be interested in if there are any I wouldn't know because I don't have Forbidden or Inquisition. I don't think Adam would be able to do anything. He's just shocked and appalled by this.
One of the House Rosa representatives will stand up. It is a younger woman. She is very charismatic, will get up with a smile. What of the Inquisition? We had a meeting with them and several agreements. I have no doubt that the representative is here somewhere. Perhaps in the room, perhaps around the table. If you're here, please come forward. We wish to speak with you.
You'll hear on the microbeat. Then I'm scared. What should I do?
Don't move.
The several of the psychers will stand up from their chairs and start to look up. What do you do?
Look up at us.
Yep. Up towards the
Oh.
mezzanine and the rest of the room.
As soon as I see that the rest of the party would be in jeopardy, I would, with tears in my eyes, I would raise a glass above the crowd as the crowd would soon disperse and say, I'm here.
The smile on the lady's face will disappear, turn to disgust as he looks at you, and this huge commotion of discussions and talk will start to raise in the room, and the volume increases exponentially.
Move.
Chaos
We need to get out of here.
ensues.
Go.
The rest of the scrolls will be packed up. People will start to leave the room. You can see Navascions literally pack up their scrolls and rush out of the room.
Tin is going to encourage Rapunus to move, get out. We need to extract immediately.
Yeah, he will follow.
The leader of the meeting will stand up. He will grab a scroll and yell out, "May the Mabarat be revealed. Keep the faith and follow the path. Through the portal, He as well will look down, pack up the scroll, and the woman in high heels will walk towards you. Adam.
While running away, may I use one ability to maybe help him?
Yes.
Or no, I will not, because they are psychers, so they will find me instantly. Sorry, you're on your own.
Fuck, make it worth it, fellas.
You have no problem running away. The guards will completely ignore you. And you run out of there towards the docking area. Whenever you run into a guard, they will ignore you. There's no sense of security here anymore. The woman will slowly walk over to you, Adam, and will look around the room. Do you recognize me? I used to serve your lord.
You did.
And with that, we will take a 10-minute break or round off the session. Whatever people feel like.
Oh my fucking
I'm sorry.
God.
I'm sorry, Tabby. I'm sorry.
Left us on a cliffhanger, the son of a bitch.
I'm sorry, Tabby. I can't do anything. You're in a room
No.
full of psychers. We
Mission
need to
goes first. Mission goes first all of the time.
I'm
You did
so
great.
sorry.
We cannot afford that fucking recording to not reach the Inquisition.
Exactly. Oh, fuck. I don't want to leave you down there. I don't want you to go down there in the first place.
For the Emperor!
Fucking crack grenade that bitch. Just take some off and fucking hug her.
Well, I'm still thinking about that. Before leaving, we should kill him, because otherwise they will.
No. Oh, God. Yeah,
It's house my mom, so it's gonna be a 50-50 whether I get mind rape.
I tell you what, dude. Rapunzel, do as you do. Tin's out of there. He'll help you if you're escaping with him, but if you want to stay, then that's your prerogative.
There's no way I can. As a character, I think he's fucking frozen. Most he can do is fucking take a step back and fall on his ass.
Mm.
I have no fear of fucking killing my characters. If it's for a good story and I wanted to play a fresh recruit that's way out of his depth.
Oh, that was a brand new character, and it's dead.
Hey man, it's for the story.
Yeah. Ugh. I hate this espionage shit. You have to do so many dishonorable things. I wish I could be the commissar and not leave a man behind, but I gotta.
What do you mean, bro? You're in the wrong line of work. This is Inquisition.
Yeah, I know.
Nah, bro, you're gonna go far in the Inquisition, both of you, if you keep going like this. Trust me.
Can't even read Latin, man.
You'll learn it.
Could have saved your
Alright, I'm back.
One person went to smoke.
I literally had to sing my son to sleep. Alright. Quietly through the microbead. I'm sorry, Adam. The Emperor protects. We can make it, we'll wait. As long as we're at Docking Bay. Alright. And I already know who's sleeping, by the way. Or smoking. It's Tavi. This is serial smoker. Heavy smoker and heavy drinker.
He has so many skills.
Oh, this is the least drunk I've heard him in a session. It's nice. He's usually fucking wasted. But he's really good at seeming not drunk.
Have you seen the Tell the Time drunken men coming back to home?
No.
I will send it to you after the session, not break it.
Alright, well, both of you are here, so basically the rest of what happens is that you are going to run out back into the hangar and see a giant ship there. You will hear a voice of your microbead saying that there is a man in a purple hat and a triangular shaped symbol. To follow him. Follow him into the inner workings of the ship. Board his ship and do not get spotted. You all start to run across open platforms and towards a giant ship that you recognize as the Grey Nimitz. A ship you have heard legend of. The deceased acolytes that you replace were looking for the ship, and you have finally found it. So at least 4 people have sacrificed their lives so that you could make it here. And you're on your way to board the ship. When you run up the ramp, you will look across this field of thousands of warriors getting into these massive ships to board cruisers that are attached to the space station. Across the open field you will see an Inquisitor codenamed Icarus, who you have read about in your files. He is a radical Inquisitor, and you know that he has killed several of your comrades. You will see him get on the ship with the other Navigator houses. As he does, he will throw a glance in your direction, and you will note this down on your picture recorder. Cheval, or Adam, you're still in the room. She will explain to you that she worked for the Inquisitor, Caster Tyve. She is serving the Navigator houses. Her allegiance is not to you or to them, but to the Imperium. She explains that this is more important than any of these factions or loyalties. And what would you like to say on behalf of your Inquisitor?
That your loyalty does not go unnoticed, and that you will be held to maintain it. As you know, the original sin is vital if Askellon is to persist in these strange times. we look forward to be working with you and to ensure that Askellon maintains independence, and for Askellon to lead its own destiny in the darkness that is to come.
She gives off a brief smile.
It will be every man for himself.
They covet whatever they're looking for, more than their own lives.
You don't understand how far they're willing to go.
She will look down, and you can see some kind of control device around her neck.
How far they're willing to go.
Yes, we are aware. Even so, rest assured, hope still remains. There are rumors, you see, that mayhaps Inquisitor, mayhaps he has a plan. As it is,
It's a good one.
you and me both.
She will bow and exit the room.
I look left and right in the empty room. I drop the champagne glass as it shatters onto the ground, and I make my exit.
Awesome. You get an inspiration point, and you will all go out into the ramp of the cruiser. As you approach, you will see Icarus on another platform, looking at you, clearly recognizing you. You have been exposed, and as you're about to board the Grey Nimitz, following your trail, that's where we can end it for tonight. And yeah, you can see the portal in the background. All the cruisers are about to exit. Detaching from the space station and slowly gliding towards the warp portal.
Do we have any hint if our ship, the one that we were supposed to enter, is also going there?
Absolutely, it is. Yeah, you will talk to the crew and overhear that they are hard locked towards Askellon 1. There is no way to guide the ship in any other direction. All right, everybody gets 400 XP.
Nice.
Well done.
Eventually, you'll see in the distance this ragged figure in its cloak, totally winded as he reaches the ramp. I made it! I made it!
How did you make it?
Oh, you wouldn't believe! I ran. I can't feel my legs.
Oh no, not that.
So
That's not.
will look suspicious at you.
It's so much to tell you. The Navigator. The Scion. She's a sleeper agent. Of an Inquisitor. Oh man. All of them on it. A glass of water, I beg of you.
Feel free to keep role playing. I'm not gonna stop you. I mean, you're on the ramp still. If you guys wanna do something.
And she have let you go just like that. Wouldn't that blow her cover?
Apparently. I have no idea. I'm just alive, that's all I'm interested in. She has a collar. Something sinister. Maybe explosive, I don't know. Water, please.
I will hand him some liquid I have to drink.
It's half in his mouth and half on the floor. His arms are shaking and his legs eventually buckle underneath him.
He will face the rest of the group and say, don't we have a decrypted list of information about the mission? Do we have any information about her there?
About what?
asking the rest of the group because I remember
Oh,
one
yeah.
person said that they decrypted something. So I'm asking if that person can confirm that we have information about that hidden agent.
I'll look through the documentations that are decrypted. Anything about the sleeper agent?
Absolutely. This is so first off, you can do a the session is technically over, but you can do a tech use test. Just a regular tech use.
Beg pardon, sorry?
Tech
Regular
use.
tech use.
Tech use.
No modifier.
Tech use or
Mhm.
use tech?
Then,
We can choose from.
as you open the device and all of the different codes, you can do a scrutiny test at -10. You're looking for the right name. Someone who could have been added recently. It is not an old member.
5 degrees of success for the tech use and 7 degrees of
Who were
success for
even
the scrutiny.
either lost or died. Female, of course. After some searching, you will come across the name Jill Vermosta, which is impossible because she has died. In fact, there is a logbook written about from the witnesses that saw her die. She died on Aventine, falling from a tall building. Aventine is a pleasure world. So that is just something you can note down.
There's someone here who should be dead. Jill Vermosta. Recently as well. Apparently came from a pleasure world. Is there any pic to go with it to know what she looks like?
Yep, there is indeed.
Same picture or different person?
I'm gonna post it here. In space, she's floating around.
Oh, this brings me back.
Yup.
And was she a woman that we saw there?
Yes.
Well, she's in our documents.
Then I say with relief, "Oh, great, Captain. We did it like true professionals."
I certainly didn't feel like a professional for half of that.
Well, there's no point in doubting in your skill or professional approach.
I've heard it by older acolytes that investigations are 10% planning, 20% skill, 70% luck.
And 5 most important % of Emperor will.
Pretty sure that's part of the luck.
Were you followed?
I don't know for sure.
Alright. We need to find out somewhere to hide on this ship. I don't think us being official crew members is going to help us, especially since, well, last time we went into anywhere official, we got shot at. So I think we should find somewhere we can hunker down, maybe somewhere in the dregs and the underdecks. And I can scrounge up us something. There's normally vermin everywhere on these ships, and well, I mean, if you're not opposed to it, we can get something to eat and something to drink in our system, because I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm about to fall over from exhaustion.
Then you don't know.
Do I know what? I don't know many things.
My captain, before he died, I'm wearing his armor, by the way. That's why there was so much blood when I first entered the room. He doesn't need it anymore. He told me the terrain emits. It's the Inquisitorial cruiser. We made it home. Emperor blessed.
You're still standing by the ramp, lights flashing down on you. These huge floodlights just throwing shadows in different directions. You can see through these blast doors, huge windows. You can see the glowing blue orb of the war portal outside. Occasionally you will see little sort of warp figments in the air, little like Tinkerbells floating around as you look at these huge crowds of hundreds of men boarding the ships.
I don't know much. Let's get inside, but if all the Navigator houses are in on this, I mean, every ship out there's got a Navigator. I don't think anywhere's going to be truly safe. But for the moment, yeah, we can possibly not be worried about being shot, unless we piss someone off. Maybe the commissar will decide to do that later. He doesn't seem to like us very much.
I do hope not. I've been growing quite accustomed to living.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Right, let's get inside. Let's make sure that no one can talk about us having a chat on the ramp. And let's find something heavy and hopefully caffeinated to drink.
Also, I remove a picture recorder from my helmet. Try to hide this from the tech priest. I hope Somatri finds useful whatever I saw in there.
And throughout the hiding on the ship, Raspanans will spend some time scouting for people that will approach closer to us, and from time to time he will read minds of people to check if someone that haven't found us or started to think about that we are a strange bunch or something, just to be prepared for such occasion.
Do a cynicisms test -10.
Tin is going to go full on Vietnam. It was post-war Vietnam veteran who doesn't trust anyone. He's going to keep in contact with the guys because they've got his communications, but he is going to hide out in the sort of lower dregs area, and he's just going to scour what he can to eat what he can, and just kind of find some hideaway somewhere on the ship where it won't be easy for him to be found.
Excellent. You make efforts, Kertul, to wipe the memories or distract whatever spy is sent in your direction. And as a result, you will start the next mission with a neutral subtlety score.
Nice. We're thinking Raspanans.
Sorry, could you repeat? I think I had a break of connection for a moment.
You managed to deal with any spies that were following us. We're gonna start with neutral.
Well, I don't know if they were spies. They were crewmates or they were really spies.
So you did what you did. You read a couple of minds and realized there were one or two people who may have been sent by the Navigator houses, maybe because, we were running from the scene and possibly our good friend was followed. But you found them, and you've managed to manipulate their minds ever so slightly so that they can't find us. So our subtlety's now been put back to normal.
Yes. Also, I will let you know which people are those. So if we want to, we could eliminate them, but that would lower our subtlety again.
I think we need to. Yeah, I don't like the whole gunfights and such. So I'd rather avoid conflict than try and start any.
If they force us, if we see them again, we'll have to. They'll leave us no choice.
That's why I picked this, and he gestures to the flamer, which is still on his shoulder, which he has only used once to burn a fucking room.
Better than nothing. Multi-purpose. I once heard that a naturalized used it as a pressure washer to get some biohazard. However, it also had acidic properties.
Sounds incredibly complex as he looks down towards the towards the flamethrower. I mean, I guess it's just a case of spraying chemicals. I guess the pilot light would be fairly useless. I mean,
Yeah, don't light that if you're planning on using it that way.
No. Well, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go try and find somewhere to camp out. If you wish to find me, I will be in Maintenance Bay 2X12 near the Geller Field. I feel safer near a Geller Field. Everywhere else gives me headaches.
I think we shouldn't split, so maybe we all should move nearer to Geralt Field.
Sure. It'll be a bit cozy, but I mean, as I said, more the merrier, and I'm sure that I can make a couple of fires and keep us warm.
Very well, so it's decided.
I really wish I could remove my left boot, but I think it's been fused to the shin guard due to plasma volley.
Oh shit! As he looks down and kind of finally realizes that you've been walking with this horrible plasma burn. Oh, fuck. As he goes into his backpack and finds the med kit, I'll attempt to give you a bit of healing.
It's okay. My entire body hurts, therefore I can feel it.